Okay.
So, John, you had some big concerns there in the committee about the state's ability to build this hospital.
Well, Dr. Cerise has persisted in suggesting I shouldn't be asking questions, and I don't represent Dr. Cerise. I represent the taxpayers. Now, the proposal here is to borrow anywhere from $500 million to $1.5 billion of money. Taxpayers in Louisiana are going to have to pay back. And before we do that, we need to know how we're going to cash flow this project. And there is no business plan that explains how we're going to cash flow this project, because the United States Congress, within the next 6 months, is going to completely overhaul the healthcare delivery system in America. And there's a very good chance that that is going to impact how much money each state will receive and in what form we receive it. So it's impossible. It's impossible to know. And that's what is what this committee is not being told. Now look, we all want the same thing. We want the best health care that we can afford for New Orleans and the rest of the state. But we shouldn't just go out willy-nilly borrowing $500 million to $1.5 billion unless we know we can pay it back. That's fiscal insanity. And I'm going to continue to ask those questions. Dr. Cerise was very critical of me after the meeting for asking questions, but he needs to get used to it, because I'm going to keep asking those questions on behalf of the taxpayer.
Dr. Cerise says there is a business and financing plan in place. The only uncertainty right now is FEMA's dollar figure for how much they're going to give Charity Hospital. He says $300 million has already been appropriated, 482 would come from FEMA, and then LSU would bond out the rest on anticipated revenue, so it doesn't fall on the full faith and credit of the state.
Well,
that's not good enough.
Maybe Dr. Cerise is clairvoyant and knows what the United States Congress is going to do here over the next 6 months. But I'm not, and because I don't know what they're going to do, I don't know how this project can cash flow, because I can assure you whatever President Obama and the United States Congress do is them going to impact health care in Louisiana. So I don't know how he could have a health care plan. But look, let me say this. You take the business plan that he talks about, it's a year or two old, and you take that to the rating agencies and the investment bankers in New York and say, I want to borrow $500 million to $1 billion, and they're going to laugh you out of the building. Okay? Now, that's just a fact. And that fact needs to be put on the table. There's a rational way and a fiscally responsible way to going about this, and there's a political way. We've tried the political way in this state for a long time. It didn't work. Now maybe we ought to try the rational way, listening to the healthcare professionals about what we need, and stop worrying about politics and turf, especially before we go borrow $1 billion, hard-earned money that the taxpayers of this state have got to pay back.
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it.
Do you think we should maybe look at reopening Charity Hospital and rebuilding there along
Well,
the
I think we ought to be allowed to look at all the options, and that's the problem. From day one, it's been you can only look at this option and nothing else.
Yeah.
And that's not a rational way to do business.